Hello, guys. It's Steve, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Conclave pre sale plans and some of the different options that I'm looking at to get max sets or just max promos. So, we're going to kind of look at the different numbers. Hopefully, this can help you guys because we only have another 10 days at this point to be able to really figure this out. And I just double checking I'm recording and I'm going good because I don't want to have to go over these numbers again. Now, I did this math all on my own today, and we're going to be right over here. We're going to make this a little bigger. Let me see here. Yeah, we'll go right there. Okay. So, and then really quick here. You know, I'm not as good with sheets as I am with some of the other setups here. But we'll get through this. I wanted to make it big enough for you guys to see so you could follow along. Maybe we can make it a tiny bit smaller. I think that'll work. That'll fit a little more on here. Okay. So, our set, we have 24 common cards, 29 rares, which is interesting, 14 epics, 15 legendaries. Just a quick math, you need 400 cards to max out a common, so you need 9,600 common cards. You need 115 to max out a rare, so that's 29 times that is 3,000. 14 epics at 46 copies each is 644, and 15 legendary cards is 165. This is what we're looking at for a max set. So total cards of around 13,744. And our pack options, as we are looking at in the pre-sale, is your standard packs, your alchemy packs, and your legendary packs. Without potions, they are all the same on their regular chances to get things, with the exception that you're guaranteed to get a gold foil on the alchemy and you're guaranteed to get a legendary on a legendary. If you use potions on these packs, it changes the percentages to what you see here. Dave McCoy confirmed for me that you double the gold foil, you double your legendary, you double your epic, it all comes out of the common. So the common drops down 4.8, and epic goes up 4%, legendary goes up 0.8%, and then if you're using gold foil potions, obviously that puts you up to 4%. So this would be on any of these packs here. I am just honorable mention because I'm going to go over my plan to get my max set. There is a starter pack coming out. It's a $1 pack. It has one rare and 4 other cards that have an 80% chance to be common, 20% chance to be rare. We'll show how this is going to plan out my, in theory, cheapest way to get a max set, possibly. We'll talk about the possibilities of it being wrong. Okay, now we're going to look at 2 ideas here using the different packs, and you can base this, and my math might not be perfect everywhere, guys. This is estimations and so forth. But let's say you're coming in, you're doing things normal, you want to get the 4,000,006, oops, I have an extra 0 in this one. 4,600,000 buy in DEC to get the max promo cards. That's what you would need to get, because for the 115 times 40 is to get the rare legend, the one each of the rare, so that you get your 115. Now the legendaries would only take you to go to 4. So you could lower this by 200,000 DEC if you want, and then theoretically, if you're doing this on your own, you're probably going to get a couple gold foils when in those. Well, I mean, it's not guaranteed, but in the rares, if you're getting like 100 and you're just missing those last 15, maybe you can sell your gold to pick up those last 15 for, you might net a less cost there of 200,000 DEC, depending on how much these things cost. But that's up to you if you want to make that gamble. You throw in an extra 200,000 DEC, you get some more of some kind of packs, and then you get those 15 cards. So that's up to you. Same kind of things with the legendaries. But let's go ahead and get into these examples. Okay, so You do a standard route. You buy 1,150 packs because that's how much 4,600,000 DEC will get you. And you get 5,750 cards. So, looking at no potions, you're going to get yourself a nice 4,000 commons, about 1,150 rares, about 230 epics, and about 46 legendaries. You're not guaranteed a gold foil by the percentages in the math here. You're never guaranteed these because I went this route last time. I used potions, which says I should have gotten close to 3 gold foils, but I did not. Get any. So there's that for you. Just remember that can happen. And I actually bought 1,200 packs. I just bought the extra 50 to get this up to 6,000 cards. Now, if you go ahead and use potions, you change this and you get only about 4,000 common cards. You get 1,150 rare still because the rares stay the same. But then you get double the epics and double the legendaries. When you double up those legendaries, and then you have that nice 0.04 chance of a card turning gold when using gold potions. Well, if you flip over 92 legendary cards, at 4% of them should become legendary gold. That gives you about a 3.68% chance, or hopefully you'd get 3. If you were lucky, you would get 4. If you're me, you get none. This can happen. So just remember that. This is kind of what you're looking at and what you're going to have. Now, where does that put you looking at the max set? You're going to be a little bit less. You're going to be about 40% into your commons. You're going to be about 30% into your rares if you don't use potions. You're going to be only about 30% into your epics, and the same thing, about 30% into your legendaries. This is pretty normal. Typically around 3,000 packs is a max set buy from the last few sets. I think you can get away with doing it a little bit cheaper this time, but that's kind of the safe number for most people. So you're looking at about $12,000 to get your max set. Now, we're going to go ahead and look at the max buy example I'm doing is actually only 2,768 packs. So that would cost you in total 11 million DEC, just over 11,072,000. So that's a little bit cheaper than $12,000, but I'm still over $11,000 on this option trying to get yourself a max set. Now, if we go over here, we'll scroll over and look at that. So what are you going to do on your max set buy? Based on the percentages, you're going to end up with about 10,400 common cards, 2,000 epic cards, 2,700. You are going. This is if you did no potions. So this is not max on this set. If you are in the no potion using crowd, then you're going to need to bump it up to that 3,000 packs because you're not using potions. If you have full potions for your 13,084 cards, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of potions. Double check. I'm actually a little bit short on gold potions if I went this route. I have 15,000 legendary potions, but I only have about 12,000 alchemy potions. I don't know why my end of season chests just give me more legendary than gold. I maybe that's how they're meant to be, but it's kind of odd. But okay, if you go full potion with about this 2,768, then you end up getting closer to what you need. You end up getting, I'm calling this a full set because you get your 9,700 commons. That should max out your commons. You only get 2,768 rare cards, but that's about 600 short. But I'm going to tell you why I'm going to call that, I'm going to call this good enough overall here. Is because you're getting 1,107 epic cards, and you only need 644, and you're getting 221 on average legendary. You only need 165. So this is like a safe number to imagine that you could sell some of those extra epics, sell some of those extra legendaries, and buy those rares that you need. Now, obviously, these numbers aren't going to be perfect, but that's kind of what the percentages are showing you. 8% here on the epics and the 1.6% chance here on the legendaries of this big amount of cards. Now, and when you buy that big amount of cards, you're going to get some golds. So if you're not somebody who likes to keep your golds, then you can actually drop this down probably even more and do a lot of flipping. And I think you could probably get away with like about 2,500 packs in this set. I think one of the reasons for that, I mean, I don't know if, just comparatively, it looks like a little bit of a smaller set. I was surprised there was only 14 epic cards. Maybe it's the common cards, only 24 instead of maybe like more. I mean, when I did a quick look at Rebellion core set, so just the core set of Rebellion, and we look at the common cards in that set. Let me just do a quick count here. There is 1, 2. Yeah, 29. There are 29 common cards in the regular set, and that's probably the extra 5 are the dual summoners that are common in Rebellion. So see, if you put this up to a 5, that would increase this number a lot. And so Rebellion, I feel like you really needed closer to that 3,000 number, or like 2,900, even selling your golds and doing some wheeling and dealing. But that's, still you're somewhere around the 10,000 or $10,000, 10 million DEC. Maybe if you're somebody who bought it ahead of time, you're getting that for like 8,000. But that's what I'm seeing if you're just going to be a pack buyer. Now there is the people that just do this buy, the 4,600 promo buy, and then I'm going to show you a trick you can do at the end here if you want to give it a try using the new starter potion. But I'm going to use it on the example of what I want to do. I think for best value for myself. The main thing I want you to see here, even with potions, you're only netting around 3 gold legendaries on your regular 4,600 buy, 3 to 4, and that's with potions, and that's a pretty low number. It's a number that doesn't always come through. You can't guarantee it. I didn't get it, so let's go ahead and take a look at something that this one I did kind of just for fun. So what if you went the alchemy pack routes with your 40 with your max buy to get your promo cards? You'd end up getting 380 alchemy packs, and then you'd have enough DEC left to buy 1 standard pack. Now you could. No, wait, I'm sorry. This is actually wrong. I messed this up. It's 383. So this is actually 915 cards here. And this should be 383 gold foils. Let me just fix some of my math really quick here. This one right here, this needs to be a 383. I forgot. I was going to lower it to 380. And then that would let you buy like 10 standard packs. But if you're going for the golds and the foils, you're going to go for the foils, right? So that changed those, and then that shouldn't change the max set try. This one's crazy though. Okay, so then if you do it that route, right? Oh yeah, I guess here I need to change this one to, it's going to be 1,920 cards. And then this one, we're going to change this to 1920. Yeah, I know. If I would have done it a little bit fancier for you guys, I would have had one cell. That was the number. Changed it in one spot. But, I just was doing this quickly on a Saturday to try to get this out. So sorry, let me just fix a little bit of my math. 1920 and 1920. And this is where things are going to get interesting, and I don't know how accurate my numbers will be, so don't sue me if I'm way off, guys. I'm doing my best, and I'll explain my math. Okay, so for the standard, you're going to end up, in theory, getting, without using potions, about 1,043, 384, 776, and 15. This isn't very good, right? Because you're only opening like 400 packs. You're not getting very good here. I mean, you're only like a tenth of the way to your max set here. This is why it goes from 300 to like literally I'll show you why this gets kind of crazy, but then why I did this example in a second. But it is kind of an interesting route if you wanted to try some flipping of the stuff you get, right? You'll still get your promo cards. You'll get this many regular cards here. We'll just do, and with potions, basically, you get a little bit less common, more epic, more legendary. I really would expect you to use your potions on only 383 packs. Figure out a way to do it. So it's a lot less potions to have, only 2,000 of each. And then that pushes you up to this 30 legendary. Now, even if you get 30 legendary cards, unlike up here where you got 46 and you were under 1, you're still under 1 as far as like your standard luck to get a gold foil legendary. But when I was figuring out how many gold foil legendaries you'd get, what I had to do was I had to take out the 380 automatic foil cards that you get. And it actually, I should update this just to make the math a little bit better. And it's just going to make it a little worse actually for each of these numbers. But that's because we're taking out 380. Oh wait, I have to fix all of these. Probably should have just left them. You guys wouldn't have well, somebody might have caught it, but this needs to be a 1920. That needs to be a 20. I guess the easiest way to do this is delete the 5, go 1 over and press a 2. And then, so I think net, it gets a little bit easier, better percentage chances. Slightly. But okay, you're going to get a few gold cards here. But then, in theory, what I did is I said, okay, 383 of your flips, of your pack openings, are going to be automatically golden foil. I mean, gold foil or black foil, right? But they're going to be some kind of foil. So we're going to do 383 times. We're going to say this card is gold foil. Now, what kind of card is this card? So then, if you multiply that out by the percentage chances to get legendary, rare, and legendary and rare, you end up with these numbers here. So what I did, quite simply, what did I do? Oh yes, okay. So basically, without using your legendary potion, right? So you would have 383 times the 0.008% chance to get a legendary. That would still, in theory, net you 3 legendary cards. That's the same as doing the max buy percentages here, where you get 92. I mean, yeah, this is the same as the starter cards with potions, where you're using 5,000 potions. You'd get, they get 3.6, and you get 3 here, with only having to use like half as many potions, because you're getting 383 automatic gold pulls. Then, if you use legendary potions, that doubles that up to 6. Because basically, instead, you're doing the 386 times the 0.016 or 1.6%. Your epics at the 0.08 with using the potions, the legendary potions, doubles that up to now to where you're hitting 30 gold foil epics. You're hitting 76 gold foils of the rares. Because you should get about that many rares, and then whatever's left would be common. Now, obviously, this 0.8 and 0.4 would probably go away, and you'd end up with 268 gold commons, 76, and then 6 gold legendaries. The interesting thing about 6 gold legendaries, if those were worth, just kind of looking at really quickly, I didn't do this before, but what are some gold foil legendaries worth? $38, $43, $45. You have some at $75. On the high end, you have some at like Internal Tofu. He's selling right now for $450. Risk Squirrel, but you can't really pull those gold foil summoners at this time because the summoners are coming out later. So we can't really compare them to those. But I guess you can compare them to like Rage at 190. Even though Rage and like Darg is like 189. Who's you got Gnarly Grank at 100, so somewhere between like $100-$200. So you get like a $600 return here. So that drops you down to only spending like $4,000 instead of $4,600 if you decided to sell these cards. If you sold all your golds, you might get a decent amount of cash back, but would you get back enough to justify paying 3 times the pack cost? I don't know. In theory, if you just bought, I mean, if you tripled, because this is triple the cost, right? But this is equal to this, right? The 3. That's why if you tripled 383, you'd get close to 1150, because these are the same prices. But I mean, if you're a money's bags and you want to go crazy, sorry, I know this is getting a little weird here, but let's say you wanted to buy 10,000 alchemy packs. This would cost you that's not. Hold on, let me double check something. I feel like my math on my DEC is wrong. So 10,000 packs times 12,000 DEC. Yeah, I don't know where that 6 came from. I think it's because I had more, but I figured this number would work. So 10,000 packs, it's going to cost you, $120,000. So I don't even know if Matt Nagy would be going that hard. This would get you a nice stack of 50,000 cards. This is going to be a lot more than you need. So let's go ahead and scroll over and look at these kind of things. Okay, so no potions. You're going to end up with... Let me just make sure I fix something. Yes. So you're gonna end up with about 37,600 regular cards, about 10,000 of these, 2,000 of these, 400 of these. Obviously, you're gonna have a max set of cards easily. But what I'm trying to show you here is that you're going to have a max set of golds here, because you're gonna get 10,000 automatic auto foil cards. And with your legendary potions, you should come through with about 740 here, 2,000 here, 800 on the epics, and 160 on the legendary. Now, you are a little bit short on your rares and your epics. I mean your commons, but you are way over your epic need. You buy like 150 extra gold epics, and you're over your gold legendary need in theory by about 40, and that's without. These are just your autos. You're also going to pull another 25 gold legendaries, another 128, another 1,000 of these. That means when you add these two in, you're getting even closer. And for sure, you can do a little bit of selling of these epic and gold foils and fill in the rest of those. I don't know what you're going to do with all these common cards, these regular cards you have. Make a second set. Do... rent them out, sell them, dump them on the market. I don't know. This is kind of a crazy route to go, but that was kind of just for fun. Okay, now let's talk about the route I think I'm gonna go, and I'll explain why. So this is a legendary pack route. Now you could go straight legendary pack route all the way to the top of this if you wanted to. So let's say the 46, the 4,000,006 to get your max promos. Divide that by 24,000 DEC. You could go 191 of these packs, but because I'm trying to get a max set, my plan is to go 165. Now, why 165? Because I need 165 legendary cards to get a max set. And so now I'm guaranteed to have 165 legendary cards. Plus, if I buy 160 standard packs, because that's the difference that I need to get up to this 4-6 number to get my max promo card of both the promos, well, then I get a good amount of cards. I almost double my card count here. Whereas if I went 191 here on legendary, sure, I'd guarantee 191 legendaries, but I only have like 2 standard packs. I'd only have like 1,000 cards from this first buy. That would put me, somewhere near this alchemy pack range. A little bit lower even. I mean, ending up lower anyways here. But let me just show you what this will let me do. So this will let me start from the 4,600, right? And then I'm going to end up getting, so if you look at this, and this is the part that's kind of crazy. I'm going to open just, 325 packs. I'm going to get 1,625 cards in total. But I'm going to get an automatic 165 legendary, And then on my other 1,460, so what I did here on Legendary, if I went no potion, 1,460 times 0.08 plus my 165 maximum puts you at 176 legendary cards. If you're getting 176 legendary cards, even with no gold, even with no gold potions, you're going to end up with 3.5 legendaries that turn gold in theory. If you're really flipping over 176 of them, I'm thinking you might end up with more than 3, just unless you're unlucky. Yeah, I think you're going to end up with that 4 side of this, but yeah, some people are not. That's just the way this works, right? Because only 2% of them turn gold without the potions. Now, if you use all your potions, then you end up getting this 1,460 cards, and you get to times them by the 0.016 for the 16%. Add in your 165 regulars. I'm going to pull in 188 legendary cards in theory, but I'm guaranteeing I'm getting 165, and that should net me around 7 to 8 gold foil legendary cards. Now, again, those gold foil legendary cards, you know, if you did each of those at like about $800, in theory, I'm going to pull back enough to get, I have an extra 0 on this one too. I probably have it on most of them. Let me see. Do I have it on that one too? Yeah, let me fix this on my sheet. I can share this sheet out if you guys want to see it later on. But okay, I'm gonna do really bad here on my amount of other cards, though, right? I'm gonna do, you know, I do have potions. I can use them very easily on only 1,600 cards. I told you I have over 10,000 of both potions, over 15,000 legendaries. So I'm going to end up, in theory, with a little over 1,000 regular cards. I'm going to end up with only 292 rares. I'm going to end up with 116 epics and a whole bunch of legendary cards. That means day one on the rip, I should have every legendary card maxed out. If I don't, it's just going to be because I didn't get very lucky, and I got 20 of a certain one, which would cause me to get like 9 of a different one, and I'd have to go sell some of those to get those 9 I'm missing. But I should be able to sell my stuff that I don't plan on using, do some trading, do some weird things, and end up with a max legendary set and very low everything else. Now, why might you want to do that? Well, let's look at my max set plan. So start with the legendary promo buy I just talked about. I didn't do a max set legendary buy because why would you do that? I don't know why you would keep buying legendary packs just to make them really, really expensive when, as you can see, at 165 or even like at 190, you have a max legendary set already. You're not going to buy any more of those. You don't want to force your cards to be legendary when you're chasing other cards, right? Okay. So then the plan, though, with going with that, get my legendaries, get them out of the way, get my max promo cards, have some gold foil legendaries. If I get super lucky, maybe even pull like some good gold foil legendaries and get more cash back. Who knows? But the next plan is to use the starter packs. Okay, so here we're looking again at what you need, right? So we have our cards right here, our 13,000 cards that we need. We only opened 1,600 cards before, so let's go look at if we decided to buy 1,800 starter packs when they become available. So that would cost me $1,800 because they are $1 a pop. I'd get myself a nice stack of 9,000 cards. Now, because these cards, like a regular card, have an automatic rare and can't be epic, they can only be rare or common, I'm going to get myself 1,800 rares right off the boot. I'm going to get 7,200 other cards that I will then have that 80-20% chance on. In the end, you end up pulling down 3,240 rare cards and a nice 6,052 common cards for this $1,800. That we plug that up here into my starter pack cards plus the cards that I would already have from opening my packs, and now I get over here. I still have these extra 23-ish legendary cards If I might have sold them, but whatever, that gives me some cash back towards buying these starter packs, or just we're not going to necessarily talk about the cash back yet. This puts me at a negative on my rares, so I don't need those. I'm going to have extra on the rares. I'm still short a little bit on the commons, and I didn't do anything about my shortfall of epics. So I'm going to have to get my epics from somewhere. Where am I going to get them? I'm going to go to the market. In theory, what I did for now to give us some examples. Now, I do think that this number could be high and this number could be low. This number could be high because people can get these common cards out of $1 packs. When they get them out of $4 packs, if the average common card cost 16 cents and there's $1 packs out there, then I think it's possible this might go down to like an average of like 10 cents per card. But I don't know that for sure. So I'm saying you'll have to spend another $400 on common cards. You'll have to buy them off the market. This would also give you the option of skipping cards if there's some bad ones. Because, there's that option. And then you'd have to spend a big around $600 to get your epic cards. To get your 527 and an average cost about $1.15. That's what Rebellion cards are currently going for. Now, it's possible, that this could get a little more expensive. Maybe off the rip, epic cards will be closer to $2 a pop. And the good ones even more. But remember, this is an average we're going with. So I'm going to leave it at the 115. Because this is thinking I'm going to pay, a little bit for some stupid epics and more for good epics. Assuming they're going to have any bad epics. Okay, so now that totals out here to this to $1,016. That's about a little over $1 million DEC. And so at that point, I would think I would have my max Rebellion set. What would my cost be? Well, I would start with my legendary buy of 4,600,000. I would then do this 1,800,000, and then add in an extra million over on the marketplace of me buying cards I wanted, and all in I'd be at about 7,000 DEC. Now, what if you wanted to do the all? Like, what if you wanted to do legendary packs and then go normal packs afterwards? That would just cost a lot more. I kind of did the math really quick. You could do 1,600 packs. It would cost you about 7 million more DEC. That already put you at like 11,000. It's almost the same thing as going like straight. But going straight here for like 2,700 up here. But your total packs in this time, and you're still gonna have to get a little bit. But I did it here. This pulls in, a normal amount. You need these cards. This gets you 8,000 cards. It gets you about 5,000 commons. And then, you're going to get these golds. You're going to end up here with like 151 extra legendary cards, though. So you're going to sell all of those. You're going to end up with a whole bunch of epic cards. And you're still going to be short like 290 common cards. But I feel like you could probably trade these for these, or get close to it. You'd also have needing some rare cards in this example. But if you sold all your extra gold foil legendaries, if you sold all your extra legendary cards, and you took that money and went to the market, I feel like you could put those in. But see, that's where it feels like going to the normal pack route. You're ending up somewhere around, in total, if I did that 1,200 of around 11 million DEC, maybe you could get away with like 10 million. Dump this down to 2,500 if you got extremely lucky with your pulls. I do feel like the legendary cards packs are the best by far. Combined with the starter packs, way to get a max set and to get the most cash back, because with any luck, when you pull these legendary cards and you get to flip over a guaranteed 165 of them, and that's where you're getting these gold cards of 7, is you're getting that big guarantee on your legendaries. And you're going to end up here with something like 180, 190 legendary cards. That's going to net you 7 to 8 on the percentages, gold foils. But all of this is chance when we rip our packs. We all know that. Don't do what I did last time and rip your packs at the same time as the YGG guild and wonder why the system is being kind of laggy and you're getting no gold foil legendaries. Oh, because they're opening up 2,000 packs at a time while you're opening up 200 and you're fighting them in the RNGs. We got a few days left. We can figure out what we want to do for the Arcane, the Conclave Arcana sale. If you're going to get into it, I can say right now, it looks like people want to get into it. Let's do a quick refresh. Let's see if we hit a penny yet on SPS. We have now officially hit a penny on SPS. DEC did come down a little bit since SPS went up to a penny, so that's interesting. That burn value chance is even better than it was before. So SPS is climbing. DEC is fluctuating a little bit. It does make some sense that when we got up to like 9495, some people who maybe bought DEC for the trade at about 80% at 0.08, they got a nice 10-15% gain on that trade. So it makes sense. Maybe a few traders did that and they're selling some of their DEC. For me, my last little thing here. Oh, I don't have my account open. Oh, I do. It's just over here. So I do have my 4.6 million DEC in tow for my promo sale. I do have a little bit more DEC. If I go over here, I got another 100,000 floating in Hive Engine. I'm going to pick up a little more, and I am going to do this thing that you can do. Burn. Yeah, so let's burn 4,000 SPS really quick. Pick up that. Look at that. Get that 40,000 DEC because it's at a penny. We'll do a little at a penny burn, right? Now they are right. I could have, in theory, went and traded this 4,000 SPS for a little bit more DEC, but on that than burning it. But that one was for Aftersound because he always wonders who does that kind of silly thing, right? All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know this one was kind of a video going over numbers, and that can be a little bit boring, but if you stuck it out, thank you so much, and let me know what you're going to do in this sale. Bye.